What are you doing?
Hello and welcome to a video I thought that I would never make, and I'm sure you thought the same as our boy Tyrone there, that I would never make this video. Now, before this video begins, I want to try and open your mind, expand your horizons. Imagine this is some kind of hippie yoga session where we're all smoking some kind of most likely ancient herbs. I have been playing this game for about 3 days on stream, and for people who do watch my stream, they will probably know my views on this game already, but for most of you who don't, this video is somewhat a general overview, I guess, but more of me just talking about the game and pretty much wasting your time. So if you like to have your time wasted by listening to my voice and watching me jump around a map and play, then we're off to a good start. So first off here, you of course have the campaign, the multiplayer and the zombies, which are supposed to be good, but I'm only really interested in the multiplayer. Here we have our character, or my character, or as it's called, a rig that I always use, with its weird green pencil head. Now you have custom game settings, and I'm sure you can change a lot of stuff in here, but honestly, what's the point? Unlike the CoD 4 remastered videos, there was never any intent to play this game at a competitive level, so it's kind of all irrelevant. You have Codcaster, which is pretty good at least, but I'm just going to hop into a game, a custom game with just there's no one in it but me, and jump around for a little bit and pretty much talk about my views on the game and give you the most important details. And I shall also give you some gameplay further in this video. So we are playing on Frontier, which is a map that's all inside, basically in a space station. It's a pretty okay map. There's a lot of corridors and it allows people like me who do nothing in games but jump around with an SMG loads of opportunities to own noobs. So first off here you get these rigs, which are like your suits. Each of these rigs have different abilities, which of course you unlock with more levels. These abilities differ on the type of suit that you're playing, depending if you want as like a sniper one, a camo, or you're just like me and you want to play a pencil head robot and hold mouse 1 while jumping around. And when you're in game you get points, and then when you get that amount of points that you need, I guess in some form like a MOBA, you get a ultimate ability, and you can choose from 3 of these which you unlock. And of course on top of that there's loads of different guns, skins, attachments and whatever else that you can unlock in this game. Now, you're probably thinking that this is ridiculous, but what I've been saying on stream for the last 3 days is this, and I think this is a pretty good ideology to have. If you imagine when looking at this game that it isn't actually a CoD game, then you see it a lot differently. See, the problem is that, and it's actually a problem that I was doing myself as well, we all know as PC gamers that CoD on the PC is bad. It has been bad for probably 7 or 8 years, maybe longer. Even CoD 4's release on the PC wasn't good. The vanilla CoD wasn't great. It's only ProMod that made it good. The last really good CoD PC game for me was CoD 2, and that was in 2003 or 2005, sorry. So yes, CoD is a console game, something that we as a PC community should have accepted years ago, which I did. So if you look at this game with the title Call of Duty and you think, as I did actually before playing it, this is stupid as hell, those space robots. Ha ha ha, space, why? Bring back CoD 4 boots on the ground shooters. But then I decided to play this game on stream, since I'd already bought the game for the remastered version, and I haven't played a CoD game which wasn't remastered, or before that, since Black Ops 2. So I've entirely skipped this whole futuristic space era of CoD games, such as Black Ops 3, which are supposed to be like this but better due to having 300 FPS, which we will get into soon. I didn't even look at these like space games. I didn't research them, didn't read anything, didn't watch videos. So I loaded up the game on stream to laugh at it. We were all going to have a jolly old laugh at this terrible CoD. And then I realised that I actually really liked and enjoyed this game, even more so than the remastered version. And now I'm going to tell you why. Because it's simply not a bad game at all. In my mind, when playing an FPS game or FPS game releases, I look at it and usually think, can this be a competitive game? Can this be good for esports? Or when any CoD game after CoD 4 we would look to make a move to migrate to another CoD, can we make this game competitive? And I'd instantly see all of these bad things. No console, perks, kill streaks, bad map design for competitive play, and I would shun the game and say, well, it's a horrible game. And the difference here is that my mindset was completely different. I went into this game thinking it would just generally be terrible and not fun to play, not even considering the possibility of any competitive play. I loaded up this game to play pub and stomp some noobs, and play pub and stomp noobs I do. Sure, there are a lot of ridiculous things like robot dogs and generally all of the ultimates, the perks, the kill streaks. But it's actually kind of fun having those in the game when all I want to do is play public for a few days. It's a good public game, basically exactly what CoD these days is supposed to be. Now comparing this to the CoD 4 remastered version, it's much better. It's not really a great public game remastered, and this isn't even clouded judgment by the fact that we had a game 10 years ago which was the same but better. If we compare the games, both games have 91 FPS cap, and that sucks, but the difference is that remastered actually feels like you have 91 FPS. It feels laggy, it feels sluggish and slow. IW doesn't have that. It feels smooth, and if anything, I feel like I'm playing on 250 FPS. I wouldn't know the difference if I didn't have an FPS counter. Another thing is the field of view. Remastered is maxed at 80, while IW has 120. In some places, this huge field of view is an issue in terms of scaling on cinematics, and as you are probably wondering what the hell is this awful blue flashing thing on my screen, it's basically a passive skill with my rig that allows me to move faster every time I kill somebody, so I'm more fluent. But unfortunately the effect doesn't seem to scale with my huge 120 FOV and is still at 65, which is a big mistake on the developer's part, and I'm really surprised that they haven't patched this already because it wouldn't be difficult to do. But overall, this is the only issue so far that's annoying that I have found with the 120 FOV, and the FOV is great. Now to move on to my favourite part of all, and to me the most important part of any game, how does it play? How does it feel? And I can't stress enough, regardless of everyone's opinions on CoD as a franchise, my opinions on CoD as a franchise, how they fuck the PC players so many times. As a public game, when you run around and you simply own some noobs, this game plays great. And sure, this might be, as some will probably say, a honeymoon period because I didn't play the previous space games with these movement mechanics, but I love these mechanics. In stream yesterday, somebody said that I was lying when I said I liked this game, but that makes no sense. Me, as a player, individually, I love fast-paced twitch shooters. If anything, I would have wanted to be pro at a game like Quake, not Pro Mod. In Pro Mod, my role was to run around fast, strafe, jump, make unpredictable moves, and cause basically chaos. This game, for me, caters for all of those things than any game I've ever played other than games like Quake. And in terms of general gameplay, this game has a lot of kill streaks and perks, but actually I don't even really notice them at all. When I played Remastered, I would just get what I felt like being two-shot by every weapon at any range. Cooknaded every goddamn second. Spawn, airstrike. Spawn, helicopter, spawn, cooknade. Pretty sure 24/7 the whole map. UAV, UAV, UAV. It was a nightmare and it was very frustrating. And it's actually the exact reason we removed all of that stuff in Pro Mod. I mean, we had to, but this game has a lot of perks and stuff as well, but it doesn't play anything like the Remastered because you actually have time to move. I barely die constantly over and over by annoying stuff. The fast pace and unpredictable movement allows for good players to maneuver much better than opponents. It pretty much always is fast, and if you want to sit in the corner, if you want to prone, who even uses prone? I have a prone button, I have never used the prone. What's the point? Some dude like me is going to fly around you doing 360 backflips or something anyway. And in CoD 4 Remastered, I was always dying to some guy who, I don't know, was called like SpongeBob Killer or something, and he was sat in a corner with what looked like controller aim, with an M16 red dot just two-shotting me. So yes, I believe, without a doubt, that IW plays better than CoD 4 Remastered. And for me, that's all that matters. Remastered was great for nostalgia, and after it was obvious, even months before the game was released, it would never be possible to make Pro Mod, it was nothing more than that, and I don't think many people really thought it would be more than that. A few days of nostalgia and a reminder of how bad the vanilla CoD 4 was. Well, in fact, the original CoD 4 vanilla wasn't anywhere near as bad as CoD 4 Remastered, but it wasn't great either. That's not to say that I didn't have a lot of fun playing the Remastered, I did, but I don't have any interest in playing the game much further. So this video wasn't really much of a general overview at all, as I said. Really, it was just a grumpy old man talking about a game in space. But I'm having a lot of fun owning noobs in space these last few days, and I really, although I missed the hype bandwagon on this game over a week ago because I was making remaster stuff, I thought I'd give my opinion on this game, although many of you probably won't like it. He's a changed man. This COD is ridiculous. As I said, look at this game as its own franchise and not a COD game, and you'll start to maybe see that actually this new franchise pub game is pretty good and pretty fun to play. We called it Triggered on stream yesterday. This game is called Triggered. Hey man, you seen this new game called Triggered? Looks pretty cool, and it runs smooth as hell. The movement is pretty slick too. Now if you say now, have you seen the new COD game? Even when I say that myself to myself, I feel sad. But if I think of it as a different game, this new Triggered game, this is a good game. And with that, I shall be leaving, and in the coming days I'll be uploading just a couple of stream highlight games from this new game called Triggered, as I got some beastie scores of like 52-1 or something. So if you like to see an old man who owns noobs, then feel free to watch that. I will be streaming this game in the coming days on my Twitch, and I'm pretty much streaming every day anyway. So goodbye. So strafing does exist. As I say, the movement is the movement is pretty similar to the original game. The movement is good.